Wesley versus RonJ, last chance qualifier, live event, round one, quarterfinal matchup here. And I can't tell you how excited I am to break this game down. This game was a classic. There's a lot to break down in here. Shout out to the broadcast for starting the game out in a split screen mode. Again, just one of those things. Not a big fan of that. I feel like that should be used for highlights and key situations where you actually have time available to be able to look at games. But for our purposes here, we're going to just highlight this left side of the screen. And we'll just kind of get into a quick basics of his schemes, and then we will break them down when we get a little bit clearer picture throughout this broadcast here. But basically, what you're going to get here from RonJ is he's going to start on defense. He's in the Raiders uniforms, and he's going to run this double mug. So he's going to do an overload right here, send forward pressure off the edge. One of the things that Wesley can do to kind of counter this blitz is he can untarget this defensive end because normally he'll be dropping in a coverage. By doing that, you would then be able to get kind of a full slide over to be able to block that. Okay. Wesley comes into the table, comes to the table running Binkert dimes on offense. Probably going to be in bunch X nasty the majority of the game. Really excited to kind of see what he does out of this. Wesley, if you guys didn't know, top probably at least five, maybe higher offensive player of all time. Great reads, very systematic. He's gonna do the little things pretty well for the most part. And so yeah, excited to break this one down. And let's go ahead and just get into the first drive here, kind of see what he decides to go with. Starts out with a real, and you saw right there, real quick. I just wanted to highlight that. You saw right there. So you see that he untargeted this defensive end. Now, the way that you do that, real quick, if you didn't know, you can untarget the defensive end as long as you are on base pass protection. You can't have auto pass protection off, and you can't have your auto pass protection on empty. You need to have it on base to be able to do this, okay? So Wesley is on base pass protection. He's going to untarget this guy because RonJ is normally not going to blitz him. But as you see right here, RonJ ends up blitzing him, but zones out this guy. But you still kind of get the same thing. As you see, Wesley's able to send five out, able to, kind of make a play, and just going to throw it away early. But you'll kind of see the back and forth of the pass protection. RonJ is going to have to mix up some pressure to be able to make this defense work for him. So as you see, he untargets the right side. As you see, RonJ sends the right side again, but he's not sending enough to get it done. And this is what Wesley's going to do. Let me just back up and highlight the route combo here that he decides to go with. He is going to run a very standard Binkert dimes combo. It's going to be a streak, a slot fade here to the slot receiver, and then you're going to get this X cross corner with the cross flat, and then typically a return route on the backside. What Wesley does, though, is I want to highlight how fast he gets to this route. One of the things I think Wesley does really well is he never misses a check, like never misses a layup throw. And so what you see is he looks over here and he sees all this traffic kind of running off. And so there's just this massive void to be able to get to your running back route. He's also getting blitzed, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, getting good pickup there on the back end. And you see he just gets the ball to his check down relatively quickly within his progression. So again, while we are on split screen, I will never know for an LCQ game, but we are going to get, I think, a full-on play here. I don't think that's a replay. I think we actually finally get full screen, and I want to just highlight what you're going to see here. So let's see if I can just back this up. I'm going to draw the play up because they're doing this stupid animation stuff. Again, really just consistently all year long, been very disappointed with the MCS broadcast not highlighting the players like I would wish they would. And the split screen stuff, to me, I just don't get it. You have a B stream for a reason. Let's lock in on the main game, cut to the B stream. When you actually have a replay that's worth showing, I just think it's super frustrating to me that we just consistently, kind of just, split box and we can't actually get into a game. So anyway, I just want to highlight what he's going to do here. So what Wesley is going to do on this play is he's going to run a streak. He's going to run a wheel. He's going to run a curl, a drag, and a return route. Okay. What I like about Wesley, the way he plays, this is kind of an example of the systematic approach. So as you'll see here, RonJ switches because of the spacing switch route, but it's going to ultimately not matter because it's a cloud, so he gets off of it. Wesley's eyes normally should be here, but what he's going to wait on here, because you do have this, but it is going to get like a catch tackle. So what Wesley sees is, I would think, he sees the user kind of running to the curl. He sees this guy kind of bearing down on this guy. So now the eyes go to this two-man read right here between the running back and the streak. As he's doing that, he sees RonJ switch onto this deep defender to try to rob the running back. And that little hesitation allows him to just take the top off the defense early and be able to hit Nico over the top for a one-play score. So really, really good drive for Wesley, not having to do a whole lot on the first drive, a couple plays, able to get down there. Pretty much mainstay combos, right? We got the drive under mesh on the first play. We got the standard X cross flood on the next play, and then we got the mesh spot with the switch stick. So a lot there. Hopefully now we're gonna get into this one screen. They didn't do as much split. I just was shocked they did the split screen for like the first minute of both games. I just thought that was odd, but is what it is. Wesley's also going to kick in the middle of the field. Most of the time you've seen these guys kick sideline, so we'll see kind of how his kicking strategy works throughout this game. He actually decides there to kick it into the middle of the field in the landing zone. And I will be doing a breakdown on this Big Tay Edgar game. There will be a lot to cover with that. Big Tay was doing some really, Big Tay always comes to the party with something a little bit different. And he did bring kind of a little bit of a unique defense that's kind of interesting. So RonJ offensively is going to be in the Jaguars offensive playbook. Wesley going to be in dollar. And we're going to kind of see, pretty standard stuff from Wesley's defense, primarily trying to get stops with the switch, putting a lot of emphasis on his switch stick. And then the other thing I was going to highlight about this is RonJ coming into this event. He put all his AP on his quarterback. So I don't know what he exactly has. I don't know if he's Master Tack. I think it's Master Tack. But I want to say he might just have QB Playmaker Gunslinger, but I'm pretty sure it's Master Tack. Anyway, the big reason why I want to highlight that is he does not have pass protectors on his tackles. He does not have basically any ability on his offensive line to slow down the sheds. The reason that matters is because Wesley has a ton of AP on his defensive ends. I believe he rocks edge threat. I don't know if he gets double or nothing on him as well, but I believe he's rocking the edge threat. So we'll see kind of how these sheds go. But effectively, dollar right, real straightforward. Send 3, and then you're going to get this guy looping. You could either get him going that way. You could also get him going that way. Wesley will kind of play around with this looper a little bit more than what you normally will see. He'll sometimes leave him going that way. He'll put him in the middle of the field and then put him in that gap. He'll have him over here and then loop him that way, like just a little bit different. And then as far as coverages are concerned within this, typically what you're going to see is flat, third, and then one of these guys in a hook normally, like let's say hook, third, something like this, or you're gonna get occasionally your cover 3 cloud where you're going to kind of roll over the top of something, kind of like that. So pretty standard coverages from Wesley. I don't think you'll see him do a ton adjustment wise. The main way he's going to try to get stops is with his switch stick, being able to switch on his zones and make them react. So right here, RonJ goes short side bunch, X nasty, motion cross post, really odd combinations. And this is what you'll see from RonJ this entire event. Just kind of odd combos, but they work. He does not, he's able to make reads. He's clear, just his reads this event were really what helped him a lot. So gonna go to doubles flex wife close. Like I said, he's in Jags. He's gonna be audibling around a lot. Goes to another double drag combination out of motion dig under with that speed in. And that's going to get him into a first down and 10 situation. And then we're going to get to bunch tight in here. So he's going to call whips. One of the things RJ tweeted out after the tournament is that he basically freestyled the entire event. Kind of interesting decision. And he's really good at it. So he freestyled most of these plays. Here's kind of a standard mesh spot combo on the left side, but look how fast he's getting shedded. He actually hits the running back there But look at how fast Wesley is consistently shedding him. Another thing that Wesley's going to do is he's also going to mix in some match coverage as well, which he might have done right there. But anyway, kind of an odd combo there from RonJ, playmaker, running back. And you see, I mean, look at that pocket just swarming. And what's crazy is RonJ never, like, I don't know if you could change teams after a game, but like he just was out here hooping with no help. Like he was freestyling. He had no pass pros, and now we're gonna come down and bunch nasty and run a little dive. Why not? ID's the user and hoops. If you guys don't know, Dollar does load some of the best run shoots in the game. However, when you ID the user, it can help a little bit. Doesn't always help, but it can help a little bit. It's a good scramble, but good job by him. But he does get on a fourth down early. Going to call a timeout, probably talk it over with his staff on the sideline. Not sure if he did that for stamina purposes or what. But this is one of the plays that he likes the most. This little speed in from the running back is one of his go-to routes. Now, what he's going to do here is he's going to use the wheel as kind of a pull route for the running back. And then he's got an underneath drag to that outside bunch receiver as well. And now he's going to kind of change it just a little bit, a bunch of slot fades. Has the crosser, has the running back. Good job by him, RonJ. Able to hit the running back. Now, Dion does have KO, I believe, but he's able to get down and go ahead and score. So, like, this is my thing. Like, right here, this would be a great time to actually show any kind of replay from the other game. Right here. But instead, we're actually watching all of this in real time. So, anyway, is what it is. Also wanted to say and just highlight, if you guys are looking to take your Madden game to the next level, join our school community. It's only $10. It gets you access to everything I know, full offensive, defensive ebooks, exclusive tips that will help you win more games. So if you want to sign up for that, that link's in the description. It's only $10, and I guarantee you it's going to help you become a better player. All right, so there you see. So now we're showing it. That's what's frustrating. So now we're showing the replays, and now look, we missed a play. I just I don't understand why this happens every event. I just don't get it. But anyway, is what it is. All right, we can actually break this down a little bit. So now we kind of see the flow of this game. And what we're going to get is we're going to get this send for with an untarget on this guy, which will still pick up if he blitzes this guy or blitzes this guy and drops this guy. Like either way, that send 5 overload gets picked up if you untarget this guy. Okay. So if you're RonJ, what I would think you would want to do is start to bring in some pressure looks, maybe that look like that. We'll see kind of how that goes for him. The other thing is, like I said, Wesley's going to run X cross, going to run a lot of spacing switch, and going to run a lot of drive under. Those are the three main plays. And Wesley's offense, the way Wesley likes to play, he's going to throw the ball to his running back quite a bit. So you see here, he goes to spacing switch, and he's going to do this combo. I actually love this combo, and I'm surprised we haven't seen it on the big stage more. What most people like to do when they run spacing switch is you're going to get drag, return, flat, and then you're going to get slot fade, and you're going to get a crosser over the middle, okay? That's a really, really good combination. The weakness to that combination is that it takes quite a bit of time for the crosser to get over, and the crosser is not exactly in a perfect space with this return route. So the crosser is going to be over here, and the return route is going to be like over here. And so because of that, you can kind of use the crosser in an interesting way. What Wesley decides to do here is something that I've thought for a little while. Something like this, you're going to streak this guy, so it's going to clear out this quarter or third. This guy is not really a problem because what would normally happen is, let's say you did a crosser here, they could then switch to this guy and take that away. What Wesley does, though, is, again, depending on how RonJ actually covers this, but basically, let's just say he covered it like this. Let's say this was a hook curl, and then let's say this was like a third. He has a seam streak here. So if he switches onto this middle third, the seam streak could be a touchdown. So what you're going to get is you're going to get, instead of a crosser, a stemmed up in route that's going to cut right there as opposed to being open over in that area. So kind of just a little bit of a change up here, but watch how the space is here. Look at, you see what I'm saying? Like, he really runs this off. Now, he actually, RonJ ends up crossbanding, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm telling you, if this was not crossband, this is a very nice throwable window. But I love the flat drag, and look how just well it spaces out, able to attack horizontally. And it's just a great play. It's just a great play, and you need great plays in your offense, consistent plays at this level, right? When you're playing for all this money, you've got to have plays that you can rely on consistently. And spacing switch has been one of those all year. What Wesley's going to do here is he's going to go to that double drag setup. He actually ran this a lot. This was one of the plays of the event here that I thought was really interesting. You didn't see this called that much until this event, but it's this idea of a flat, a running back speed in that's going to get super low, super underneath. And then you have a tight end drag kind of meshing here. Now, what you could do with this guy is honestly up to you. You could put him on a flat, you could put him on a slot fade, you could put him on a streak, all kinds of different things. But what you get here is a slot fade. Why would Wesley put him on a slot fade? I'm not 100% sure. I would think because you're not going to get a lot of match in double mug, but it is a really good route against match, these solo receiver slot fades. I would think it's just maybe a man coverage thing, or if he hard flats out of a cover two, he can attack that way. I'm kind of curious to know why the slot fade there. But the other thing here is you're going to get a deep in again that kind of cuts into a nice area. So these stem to bin routes, I think, have been good for a while. As you see here, RonJ, good quality pressure. Wesley gets to that drag really early. Again, just notice how fast Wesley hits the check downs. He hits the underneath routes really, really, really fast and really, really, really consistently. It's kind of been one of the tried and true principles of bunch for a long time that if you're going to run bunch at a high level, you're never going to want to miss a flat route. Goes to an inside zone here, probably just to get a run in. Shout out to the split screen. Love to see it. And we'll see what he ends up going to. There you see auto. Right there, he had auto protection off. Don't know if he forgot to do that or what. We're going to go to this RPO here. This is the motion cross RPO. Really difficult to stop that against double mug. Now, I will say there is a tell of this. You'll see that this guy is a little bit backed off when they run this. But look how open this is. And this goes for any kind of compressed defense. I mean, this guy often gets out leveraged, and this just is wide open. And, gets flashbanged, but able to get out of there with Davis and able to get upfield for really nice yardage. Another quick thing that I want to highlight here when we get back onto the field is Wesley's abilities. I don't know for sure what his abilities are. I'm kind of taking an educated guess here. But what you'll see is you see ability here, ability here. I don't know what he's got on the receivers. I don't, they're just X factors. But basically, I would tell you almost with pretty good certainty, he's got pass protectors on his tackles. Pass protectors, matadors, something to help them against, heavy sheds. And so he probably does not have Gunslinger on Caleb. He probably just has QB Playmaker on him. And he actually kind of get a bag there. I want to highlight the play call. I still love the route combo. The only thing I don't like, so he does this out of drive under. So I'm going to get why. So basically what we're looking at here is we're going to have a high low to the right side. So what he's trying to do is hit this corner route right there. That's like the goal of the play. But let's say you got like a cover two or something like that. This crosser will get open in the middle of the field, but it's kind of a tight window. And then the tight end flat is a real good job opening space to be able to throw that return route. The combination of the crosser and the tight end flat are going to pool. So as you look here to the right side, you see he kind of gets what he wants. So you see this guy dives down, but the corner kind of runs poorly, and he's getting good pressure. You could probably try to force it and maybe risk like an incompletion, probably not an interception, but that's bagged. And then at this point, good switch by RonJ, getting pressure, just gonna go ahead and throw that one away. All right, so now we're going to get a 2nd and 10 on the 14-yard line here. Wide side bunch. The other thing that Wesley's doing, I want to highlight this dig return setup. It's actually cool what he does there. Goes ahead and scrambles out of there. But good quality, high-level combo here. So what you're going to get is you're going to get a flat you're going to get a exaggerated zig, you're going to get a streak, and then you're going to get that flat or swing. And then on this right side or this left side, you're going to get a slant. Purpose of this is the streak's going to do a really good job for a couple different reasons. If you get super aggressive, you can throw it. But the main purpose of the streak is to run this guy out of the way. And he's kind of anticipating potentially this guy being on a hard flat or underneath like it was last time. And then basically using that slant kind of like that crosser. Then on the back end of this, you have a exaggerated zig that does a really good job of getting against yellows. So as you see, this flat goes down. Streak is probably throwable in that little window right there, but it is tight. And then this little zig is getting open, but it looks like RonJ kind of shaded the hooks. So what Wesley's probably wanting to do is probably playmaker this guy right up, but he ends up playmakering the zig. As you see, the zig goes up, and then Wesley does a really nice job of, kind of being composed in the pocket. Didn't really get what he liked there, but goes ahead, scrambles out of there, and fortunate for him, gets a first and goal. So first and goal from the 3, about a minute left in the first quarter, pretty much just standard offense at this point, no crazy clocking. But he is going to go to halfback off tackle. If you guys did not know, if you're playing double mug, I got 2 big tips for you. If you're playing any kind of double mug, it's a general run tip. Number 1, if you want to run the ball with the running back on the side of your quarterback's throwing hand. So in this case, right, the running, even though you normally run your bunch to the wide side, Caleb Williams' hand is the right hand. So you want your running back to the right side so you can run the ball quicker. Number 2, against double mug, you're going to see right here that you're going to get pretty good blocking for a wide zone or off tackle type of run. Unfortunately, he did get shedded by the slot corner, but still a positive play. And again, if you're going to pick a run against double, actually, I guess he did lose 5 yards or 2 yards. But if you're going to pick a run against double mug, you want to be picking these outside zone based runs. Inside zone really easy to stop out of double mug. Going to go to a red zone combo here and going to X cross and not really going to kind of got bagged there. I don't know exactly, like this combo is cool, but the thing is, when you're down here in the red zone, you gotta, hooks on 5 is pretty standard. So we have a drag that, not really throwable, hitch kind of on time, maybe, but really looking to the corner here, kind of paint the back pylon, not really there. Crosser kind of bagged, scramble up, tries to do that, but gets pretty collapsed pretty quickly and then just gets rid of it. And now we're on a 3rd and goal. Pretty good red zone defense so far from RonJ. And if there was one weakness to Banker Dimes and has been all year, is that their red zone is not the best. They just don't have a lot of answers down there in the red zone. Other than passing, there's just not a lot of easy ways to score down there. And here you're going to see Wesley got to go to a really nice play. So I thought this was a way better variation of what he just ran. So if we take a look at what he does, he runs X cross. So he has the corner still painting that high-low on the right sideline. You have this route, which is really, really good, the cross flat. And then what you're going to get is you're going to get 2 hitches. These hitches, the purpose of the hitch on the left side is to try to pull for this tight end to get open against cover 2 or playmaker late based on what happened last time. So what you're going to see here is, RonJ plays really, really good defense. You see a lot of people run. He sends the spy. When he sends the spy, Wesley playmakers him into that empty space right there. And what was once covered is now wide open. And he's able to just get an easy touchdown off that. A very high-level play, having the composure to playmaker in the face of pressure, and then having the ability to be able to get the ball out on time to be able to make sure you get a nice, accurate pass. It's a good touchdown there from Wesley. And, now we're going to go down back into the second quarter and kind of see what happens. All right, so on the kickoff here, RonJ gets out of there, spins into a hit stick, fumble, 4-6. Wesley able to get a free touchdown, even better that it was for 6. And now RonJ 21-7, and we'll see what he's able to do offensively. Big mistake there by RonJ. Obviously, again, big time game, and you don't want to be fumbling the ball on a kickoff, partially probably because he's spun. So into the first quarter here, going to put us into the second quarter, start to kind of consider end of half scenarios and clocking. 21-7. RonJ, this, it's a big hole, but he does get ball at a half, so he's not necessarily in a bad, like he's not in an ideal spot, but he's not in a broken spot. Like he's cooking up a little combo here, goes with a deep in route. I want to highlight, by the way, like Wesley has a top level switch, but take a look at how open this in is. You don't see people throwing in routes like this, but this is wide open because these hooks often are shaded underneath. But purpose of the play, you get a high-low on that left side. He's going to hit that corner route really nice, but throws the ball into the bleachers. Why does he do that? Probably because he freeformed it and probably a little too much bend on the ball. Going to go motion cross post here. This combo is really interesting. RonJ actually used a lot of stemmed up in routes, but just 2 clear outs, and then you basically have a slant post variation with a cross flat. So, cross flat, throwable, but not going to get you that much. But really, I mean, it's just this slant, which is throwable, and this in route, but he's just going to dump it down, which is nice. Get some easy yardage there, nice cut. Spun again after spinning into a hit stick on the kickoff. Why not? 3rd and 3. You only live once. So YOLO for RonJ. All right, so 3rd and 3. Going to go to bunch tight end weak. This is the David T bunch tight end weak. And going to just cook up a little freestyle dot. And Wes is going to get a PI, and RonJ is going to get a touchdown. Wesley actually does a really nice job switching it, but ultimately doesn't work out for him, and he gets a PI, and RonJ is able to catch it, and he's able to score. Wanted to highlight the combo just real quick here. So what you see is Wesley actually does a really nice job. He switches on the quarter really well. He's just going to lurk down on this and try to take this away. This is a pretty standard switch, especially because RonJ is not clearing space. He doesn't have a streak there. So it's a pretty easy switch for West. Puts him in really nice position. Dion versus Dion. Dion ultimately wins the battle. And RonJ able to get a touchdown. Now, honestly, West did get a fumble for 6. So that's what it is. But a nice job by RonJ there. Fighting through the adversity and cutting that one off. All right, so we're going to show a field goal, and then let's go ahead and check out what West does. So, situation here for Wesley. I don't know exactly how I would play this. I don't know. We'll see what West ends up deciding to do. But I don't hate a clock here just because of you don't want to get. Problem is if he scores, like you're going to give RonJ last drive. So you're going to see he's going to start out with a halfback off tackle. There you see there's pretty good run there from that. And again, that's what I was talking about. If you want to try to attack double mug, one of the best ways to do that is with the halfback off tackle. And Wesley is going to chew here. So as you see, he does throw out and chew. And you're going to see again, really nice. So this is X cross, and he runs it just like he ran that spacing switch. Instead of a crosser, it's going to be a deep in. And then you're going to have a nice clean streak. I actually really like these combos. Again, slight variation of the crosser, but I think the in route's a little better for zone. Because look at how open, tight end's wide open, but look how open that's going to be. Whereas if it's a crosser, he's kind of running into a little bit more traffic. So RonJ goes with pressure look, and Wesley, I'll tell you, man, this dude never misses a drag. He never misses a flat route. It's just one of the ways that he likes to play the game. He'll never miss these underneath routes. Like he's just looking underneath immediately. Gets a nice play. That's a nice playmaker there to the running back. Unfortunately, he kind of gets himself past midfield a little quicker than he wanted to, but still going to be able to chew. I would assume this is a run here. Nope. Going to be X cross. Hit the running back flat. Again, I want to highlight how fast he gets to this. This is a standard play call, a 100% standard play call. But look, he's getting screamed at. He's not getting his. I don't even know if he did pass pro here, and he just knows I'm going right there, right quick. I'm looking out there. Okay, traffic, no flat defender, automatic throw right there. And I call these layup throws. RonJ's really not taking away the layup throw to the left side all game or to the X cross, the cross flat. The cross flat's been there for the most part, the majority of the game. Okay, so going to go to the RPO here and going to just try to pop a flat route, get a first down. The main reason for this, he's trying to just get a first down. RonJ's going to play good defense, get a sack, puts him in a 3rd and 9 situation. West should take this to the 2. No, he does not. And the reason why he does not is because RonJ calls a timeout right there. Why not? So 39 from the 31. Going to go to this motion clear halfback seam. And kind of interesting, has a touchdown, but able to get it to there. Want to highlight the combo here. So this combo is it's totally like just a constraint combination. This is not a play you'd run all game, but every now and then as a mix and it's really good because you're used to the running back doing this, right? In this formation. That's what you're really used to. But what you get here is you're going to get a really good fast streak to the running back. If he's not manned up, he's going to be wide open, and you're going to get kind of a corner, a streak, corner, and then a little return route as kind of a check down. So, kind of highlight how he reads it. So as you see here, it looks like RonJ crossmans the running back or does something weird. I don't know how this guy keeps getting on these weird zones. But anyway, I think it was a crossman there. All right, so RonJ calls his last time out. Wesley's probably going to run the ball here. Halfback off tackle. Again, he's always running with the running back on the side of the quarterback's throwing hand. Halfback off tackle here. And RonJ pretty much knows he's going to run the ball, by the way. We're at the safety in the box. Not able to shoot it, even though he knows the run's coming. That's a good high-level run in that halfback off tackle. Now you're going to get a 2nd and 7. And we'll see what Wesley decides to do here. But I would think 100% of the time trying to give RonJ very minimal time here. Good scramble there from Wesley. One of the little things, man, little thing to make your game better if you're watching this. Something that I've had to learn and something that we all have to learn is when you step back, you're right here. What he could do is he could drift back here, right? You're getting kind of shedded. You could kind of drift back here because you're getting a little worried. You could even try to roll out here and try to make a play that way. But what Wesley decides to do is go climb, 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 and then he kind of insta scrambles right up into this void. You don't necessarily always have to do that. You could just stand in the pocket. Maybe your in route will be open. But think about it in the game. Wesley just wants a first down here. Why? Because he wants to take the rest of the clock. So he scrambles, gets the 1st and goal. Now the ball on the 9. And you got to be feeling good if you're Wesley here about being able to take all of this clock. So we'll see kind of how he approaches it. But this should be a first down run, maybe a 2nd down run as well. And Wesley's going to pass it. So what do I know? Has the crosser for a touchdown, going to just get to the running back, and he's going to go down right there. Why go down right there? He could have easily kind of trucked into the end zone, but goes down at the 1. Because again, clock management, trying to get this clock out of there, trying to give him the highest likelihood of victory. RonJ somehow stops that inside zone. He was not in the right way to shoot it, but he did. He got it done. 3rd and goal from the 4. And now Wesley will probably, right here, you probably go ahead and try to score. Run 2 passing plays, give him the ball back with minimal time. Go spacing switch, good scramble, and he's just going to take the touchdown there. Okay, so Wesley accomplished kind of what he wanted to. He took the majority of the half. He also took RonJ's timeouts in that situation. And so now you've got 29 seconds. Pretty minimal time because when you don't have timeouts. And realistically, probably looking at 3 here for RonJ is a win, which is necessarily a great spot. I mean, you're losing by 2 possessions, but you do get ball at half here. So any points on this drive is a positive. So we'll see what he ends up deciding to go to. But yeah, the nice little scramble there from West, kind of free. All right, so there's Wesley's defense there. And man, you can just throw right at zones this year. It's crazy. Defense is in such a weird spot this year. Y-off trio close for RonJ, running a lot of stuff here. Running a corner route and a crosser into the same area of the field. Why not? And just going to scramble. And now you're 2nd and 2. but you only got 6 seconds. You're basically Hail Mary. Maybe throw a quick out. You could throw a quick out here and make it a little bit more realistic, but quick flat. Gonna go double streaks and a wheel. Got a speed out, so he does have that out. Nothing doing. Hard flats from Wes. Switches, and that is gonna do it. Nope. It's gonna give us 1 second left. See what RonJ decides to do, but I would assume just chuck it to the end zone here in this situation. Wes is gonna go man up 3 deep. RonJ gonna jump in duo here, and Wes's defensive end played really well, and that is going to do it for the first half. All right, second half of action here for RonJ and Wesley. RonJ gets ball at half. Really the first half is characterized by good quality clock management and a fumbled kickoff for RonJ. And going to just go ahead and start this one at the midfield. All right, I was wrong. He's actually going to start at the 20 because I guess landing zone popped him there. So all right, so Wesley's kind of winning the special teams battle, honestly, by kicking the middle of the field, getting the fumble, and then now being able to, get him at the 20. So anyway, good stop right there, good dot right there by RonJ. I tell you, it's super hard to follow RonJ's offense. He just does so many things. It's like, yeah, here's a standard combo, looking for a little big play over the top, corner route. Wesley's kind of, like I said right there, I think that was match, but he's kind of mixing in basically almost man. Doubles flex while close here. And just going to be your standard zone. Man up the slot receiver didn't work. And now you're going to get up to the 48-yard line. From the 48 mesh spot here. In route, deep wheel. There's that in route. Almost got a KO, but didn't work. And if you're Wes here, I think he was trying to switch here. And I think he just got put on this guy. And then it's just super hard. The only other thing is if you switch here, yeah. Anyway, nice play by RonJ. That's power of those stemmed up in routes, man. A little 15-yard in route over the middle. Gets him to a really nice spot on the field. Okay. Missed a play because we're looking at replay. Bunch tight end for RonJ. And what's so good about this is a little flat here, return, and then anything else, man. Literally anything else you want to do. He's going to do a streak and wheel. And you see horizontal strain, but not able to get it done. And it's going to put him in a second down and 10 from the 19. Got a speed wheel here, or a tight end wheel, running back in, and then a post curl. So really looking for the curl, probably in the running back in. Those are the two main routes in the play. The flat pulls, running back in route, and the flat, kind of, I don't know if that was a curl flat or what it was, but RonJ hits that flat late. In a nice little window. First and goal from the 1 here. Hopefully just tries to run it in, keep it simple. See what Wes does at the 1. So he's going to do, Wes just going to do a 6-1 here. Fullback slam from strong close from RonJ. And that was free. That was very, very free. All right. Let's see what Wes does here. Opening drive of the second half. RonJ going to kick it off to the side. And it looks like Wesley's guys are going the opposite side. First and 10 from the 25. Okay. So let's see what plays Wesley calls here in the second half. Maybe. All right. So you get standard X cross setup here. RonJ switches defenses. RonJ switches to dollar. Really interesting. Okay. So Wes probably got to feel good about that. Got him out of the defense he wants to run. Hits that little quick running back cross route. Little speed burst out to the side. And he's going to turn auto pass protection off. Okay, so it looks like he does that when he wants to run. It looks like he goes off base when he wants to run. Why, you might ask? I don't know. Maybe that allows him to ID better. Maybe that, I don't know. But he does it. Probably has a reason for it. Puts base back on now. He wants to pass. Got shedded. Got crazy shedded there. 3rd and 14. And see, this is the argument. So look at this. He's got his pass protector or matador, whatever ability. But unfortunately for him, that left tackle did not get the job done. He did not get the job done at all. And that dude on the left went berserk. 3rd and 14, ball on the 33-yard line. And kind of tough drive so far here for Wes. That dude, I mean, kind of goes to a mix-up combo. Little post, return, KO'd, 4th down. Uh-oh. RonJ with a little switch up on Wes here. And the way Wesley plays, 4th and 14 is not ideal for him. Right? He wants to play on schedule. He wants to be in 3rd and 3s. And there it is. So RonJ on this 4th down play call, he goes back to double mug. Why does he go back to double mug? Primarily probably because he wants to send pressure. Now RonJ decides, I'm going to load the pressure up on the tight end side, or at least show that. So what he ends up doing is he sends 6. He sends 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wesley can't block that. You know, he can't block that. So he's going to get this guy going free through the gap. And it just puts Wesley in a tough spot. Has to get rid of the ball quick and not able to get it done. And there it is. RonJ back in the ballgame, right? RonJ back in the ballgame. Wesley basically played the first half perfectly, and RonJ is back in the game. Now, RonJ, unfortunately, forgets to change his personnel, so he's audibling down to strong close and going to try to pop a stretch. And there he goes with Forte up to about the 36-yard line. That's going to be a 2nd and 3. There we go. Going to fix that personnel there. You know, again, just little things, man. High-level event. You don't want to waste plays. Ultimately, it worked out for him, but, you know, just little things. You know, if you want that tight end, that's your goal line scheme. You want to keep that your goal line scheme. It's a good loop there from Wes. Let's see if you move that. How far do you move that guy over? That's what's crazy is he's looping, and this dude's he's not even over here. Like, this dude is just going to loop like crazy right there. Watch this real quick. Watch this looper. Boom. Good pressure. Good pressure from Wes there. That loop, not 100% consistent, but when it loops, it loops. All right, 3rd and 3. Again, that running back speed in. Underneath, nothing there. In route. It's been the in route all game. I think West cross-manned or matched it and still able to hit it over the middle. 1st down and 10 from the 23-yard line, going to doubles flex. Going to go with a flat. Really interesting combo on the left. Crosser wide open. I don't know why he called that, but it worked out. That was a very wide open crosser. All right, 1st and goal from the 2. I would think we're going to see Big Perry. Nope, he's in trip personnel. Going to go to trips tight end. Yes, inside zone or QB power. See how West defends QB power here. Going to run it right and going to get in there. And all of a sudden we have a tie ball game. A game that West is virtually dominated. We all of a sudden have a tie. Now we are going into the 4th quarter, about 55 seconds left in the 3rd. So what do you do here if you're West? You know, I mean, you probably just play regular offense and go score and make RonJ have to have a money drive. But I'd be curious to see kind of what he ends up deciding to do. How fast does he try to score here? How does he kind of handle this clock? Now, RonJ in his 3rd defense of the game. This is Beanog, and he's going to run a little screamer out of it. This is cool. So, if you guys didn't know, this is Beanog, I believe, or I don't think it's nickel wide, but I'm almost positive it's Beanog. It might be nickel wide, but I think it's Beanog. But basically, what you're going to get here is I like how RonJ runs it. He spreads his D line, and then you're going to get crash in, crash in. This guy's going to put, and then this guy right here, and then you can zone out of it. So you see here sends clean pressure, defensive end pressure, right there. But West does a really good job of hitting that drag. And man, he just throws those drags, man. Like they just work for him. Okay, so gonna go stay with Beanog here. Now, and Beanog kind of similar to Nickel Double Mug. If you untarget the D end, it gives you a decent chance of blocking it. So here he's gonna untarget, but end up, and then you see RonJ's face. Right here, by the way, this is really interesting to me. So, right, Wesley, right, I mean, this is a standard combination. This is like everybody knows about this combination. Like this is a day one combo out of bunch X Nasty this year. Okay. He goes to the crosser, which is, fine. He can run the crosser on the in route. And then look at this right here, though. Right there. He sees this guy's manned up. This is the freest, probably 30 yards. And what did I say about Wesley? He never misses his check down. And look at that. He misses his check down. It just goes to show that the best players in the world, Wesley is like number 2 or 3 all time in career earnings in MCS history. And he missed a flat route that was wide open for 30 yards that he never misses. And he missed it there. Goes right back to it, hits it there. Going to get up 3rd and 6. Very fortunate to get the first down there. Let's see. I would think he takes us to the 4th. Kind of hit the reset button, take a little breath, and kind of manages mental, and then kind of lock back into the 4th quarter here. 5 minutes left in this classic game. A lot of stuff that's going on here. See what he ends up deciding to do. Man, RonJ now he's going back to dollar. RonJ just cycling defenses at this point. Kind of a different way to play. Wesley's going to take shoe clock off, so it does look like he's just going to kind of play pretty standard offense here. And we're going to get mesh spot with the stemmed up curl, I would think. Yep, super stemmed up curl. Nope, good. Let's highlight what RonJ does defensively here. I mean, yeah, it's just... what's crazy again? Like I was talking about a second ago. I mean, yeah, I understand he switched it, but like... I mean, it's open. Oh, he playmakered it. That's why. Okay. Yeah. Good defense by RonJ. 3rd and 4. Tell you what, man, RonJ is a defensive mastermind out here, just changing defenses. Flat route, corner route, great job. Great job by West there. Gets back to the route that got him there. That cross flat, trusts it, throws it, gets that first down. RonJ's user kind of midpointed it and ultimately ended up going to the corner late. Double drags, drive under combination here. Short corner. That short corner has not done a good job in this event. I think what Wesley's doing wrong on this, and I don't know for sure, but what I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, if you stem this corner down one time, he will run it better. And watch Nico Collins here. Like this is a short corner. It's a good corner. But look, he's like staggering slow out of the break. Normally those tall receivers run those better. I think Wesley needs to stem that down, and then that makes it a little bit more effective. But does a good job, gets to the running back route. He's able to get upfield and put himself in a good position here. 4 minutes, 19 seconds left in the ball game from the 24-yard line. Wesley's entire Madden 26 season on the line. Interesting to see what he does. So he's going to go to the running back streak and has that. But now, and again, same basic problem. I think he thinks this is a flat, but I think it's like almost like a match. I don't know if I want to say it's a match, but it might not be. Yeah, it is matched because this guy's going to the running back. So anyway, so like he's matched. So the thing is, the tight end corner is going to get wide open, but he is getting pressured. Tries to just pop it in there, but not able to do it. Second down and 10. All right, so second down and 10 here. Going to the same basic combo. That guy goes down. There's your corner. Good switch by RonJ. Okay, so he literally goes to basically the same combination here. Look what he does. He goes corner. The corner. The purpose for the corner here is he knows that RonJ is probably playing match. So this corner, it can be thrown against that, especially if he runs it better. But again, he's not stemming it down, so he's not getting the speed burst or the sharp cut that you normally get. But what he's expecting, what Wesley's expecting here, is exactly what happens. But RonJ does a really good job recognizing where he got beat last time, even though he didn't give up a dot, and he switch sticks on it and he takes it away, and now he's got him in a 3rd and 10. Like it's pretty decent defense from RonJ throughout this game so far. All right. So 3rd and 10, 24-yard line. 2-man under. He called stock 2-man under for the bread. And Wesley's out of there with Caleb. He literally, and you know what's crazy to me? RonJ is telling you exactly what he's going to do. He's telling you exactly what he's going to do. Like when you see both slot corners line up over here, almost guarantee that it is 2-man under. You could almost guarantee it. And I mean, look at this. You could throw that if you wanted to. You could scramble. This is probably a touchdown. I mean, everyone in the world knew it was 2-man under, and it's a good job by Wesley, though, scrambling, get a little juke out with Caleb, get him in a good position now. First and goal from the 7. But I was just really surprised that RonJ, the way RonJ played this game defensively, kind of all over the map, you know. Get him back in double mug. Inside zone, nothing doing, 2nd and goal. Got a little. That's a nice dot there from Brother Edgar. Very nice. All right. We're gonna hit that flat, right? I would think that's what got him there. Yep, flat, cut up, and you get 3 yards, 3rd and goal. Wesley's thrown for 250, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Played pretty well for the most part. Did get stopped on a 4th down though. Timeout from RonJ. Yeah. I don't personally, I mean, I don't know why he calls timeout. I would think, let's see what he comes out in. Comes out in double mug. I think his adjustments messed up. He messed up an adjustment, called timeout. To me, I don't know. I mean, in these games, I just think second half timeouts are extremely valuable to have. And I don't want to call them if I ever, I just don't want to call them unless I have to. Goes to mesh post. Interesting call. I'm trying to think why he would call this. It's probably because he's in double mug. So he's in double mug. He's also kind of lurking here. So, you know, threat of the RPO, I guess. But then you see this dude just not going to get it done. And then the drag. I mean, yeah, it's good. It's just a good call. He just goes to mesh. And honestly, I mean, it just kind of worked. It wasn't necessarily like it's not even necessarily an amazing red zone play. But the threat of the RPO kind of opened that up. All right, so now Wesley going to kick to the side here. Interesting. So he's kind of kicked all different directions. And RonJ going to go down 21-yard line, 3 minutes, 24 seconds left in this one. Basically, if you're Wesley, you're saying, you know, if I get myself a stop here, I'm in a good spot. And I just, you know, it's come down to defense. Got to hold RonJ and not give up a touchdown in this drive. That's kind of what it comes down to. We know RonJ is going to try to clock this out. Starts out with an inside zone there to Matt Forte. And going to get up to the 33-yard line. And we're going to go post or in route, slant route over the middle. 1st and 10 from the 45. Man, RonJ is running short side bunch just cuz. Corner route on the left side. Nico Collins is not running the routes very well. He is not running corner routes very well at all. All right, I think that gets us to the 2-minute warning. Midfield here. And if you're Wesley, you understand the situation, you understand what's about to happen. He's probably going to try to take all this clock, score, and then try to get into overtime and make some damage happen. We'll see what Wesley's able to do. Doink. And now we're going to have a 3rd and 4. Shout out to the split screen view here. I love to see it in key situations like this. Gonna go slant. Gives a seam streak, hits a seam streak, a short side seam streak at that. What's funny is the game's over. Tay's literally kneeling the ball out, but we still got to show that split screen. We got to. Drag, flat. Nice switch by there, but not able to get it done. And now, as you see, RonJ, very cognitive of the clock. Go inside zone here. Wesley kind of tries to sell out, I think, for the bubble screen. He gets a fumble, gets another fumble. And they both smile at each other as, Wesley got that fumble earlier in the game. But now you've got 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. Wes has 1 timeout left. He's already started calling them. But RonJ pretty much controls this clock however he wants to do it. QB power. Wes jumps in double mug, a little better run defense than Dollar. Better for different things like this. He's going to try to stop this QB power by lurking on the safety. And RonJ is going to bust it. And he's going to go down right there. Pretty interesting. You kind of have to because Wes is such a good offensive player. If you give him the ball with 1:10 and he only needs 3, that's pretty likely. So it is a tricky situation though because you're 2nd and 2. You need 7. So that's a little factor. Gonna go to stretch here, and I just didn't like that call. I thought that run was. I just thought that was a bad call around. I thought fullback dive or something. No use in trying to stretch it out. In that situation, I think you just try to get the 1st down and try to punch in the ball. So we're going to get a little bit more of a clock here. 3rd and 4 from the 7 now. Lost 3 yards. Now you kind of have to pass. And that's kind of the part here. So he has to pass, which means Wesley, as you see right here, he played defense like that on purpose, which is actually very smart of what Wesley just did. So I want to just highlight this. If you're ever in a situation like this, 35-28, 43 seconds, you got one of the best offenses of Madden history. He's going to blitz everybody. So you see here, he sends 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He also has man up, super low, flat, hook, user in the middle of the field. And then he actually sends this guy, and he basically says, yes, you can throw this, but you can only throw it up in here. He's got the flat. The user is going to dive in the down there. And you see he basically runs away from him and lets him score. You see the facial expression. He lets him score 100% at that point. So Wesley lets him score because he only needs a field goal to win the game. He also is in a situation where, you never really want to go to overtime, but overtime is not necessarily the worst thing in the world for Wesley, because of how good his offense is. So you kind of get yourself in a decent position no matter what. But really, he just needs a field goal. 39 seconds. This is 1 or 2 dots, and it's a field goal. In this game, you can kick a 70-yarder. So we'll see what he decides to do here. Probably going to have to take this out. Goes with Dion. And with the kick returns, you're also in a good, how good the kick returns are in this game. You're in a potential to kick return. A lot of things right there, but pretty smart by Wesley to let him score, give himself a chance to be able to go win the game. I think he even said that's fine. So go drag, upfield, get out of bounds, 2nd and 5. Didn't quite get the cut he was hoping for, I would think. So 31 seconds. He's probably got to get to He's probably got to get about 15, 20 yards. He's actually throwing super drags here. I mean, throws that drag. Oh, man, if he lets this thing, kind of same issue. I mean, this is out of bounds. This guy's going to go over, out of bounds. Kind of interesting. I just felt like he kind of on that play. Like, got himself in an awkward position, able to throw the ball away. Nothing really hurt there, but had a couple answers and didn't take them. And again, just surprising because he always takes them. So anyway, 3rd and 5. Yep, corner X cross, and then why does he call this play? So he calls this play because he wants this high low on the right side. More than likely, he can work that side here. He's been working this all game. But what he does over here is he slot fades. Why does he slot fade? Because if you run match coverage, this slot fade will actually out leverage this guy, and it's a one play touchdown at least, or at the very least a big play, and then he could go up and spike it and kick a field goal. So if he's got this for match, as you see here, you get this roll. He runs match coverage. Wesley knows he's running match coverage, so he's going to wait on this. He's going to throw it. He's got complete separation, and he gets the worst animation ever. That's why Nico Collins should not be on your team. You see the pros on the desk going crazy because they know that that's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. That's a big play, but he doesn't catch it. At the end of the day, he doesn't catch it. I don't know if he agged it. I don't know what he did, but he did not get a favorable animation, and now he's in a 4th and 5. And you see the facial expression, like the game's over, right? The game is over. Has had a really tough year, Wesley has. And he's never an LCQ, but hits the running back, gets up to the 43-yard line. So you're like, okay, all is good that ends, all is well that ends well. Goes to this play. It's a great call. Like you get this running back route. You never expect this thing. He gets it, hits it in a nice spot. He gets up to the 43-yard line. Now it's game's over, right? The game's totally over in this situation. All Wesley has to do is get up there and spike it, and he's going to be able to kick a field goal. You see RonJ is like, the game's over. And we have 2 seconds left, and he's going to kick a field goal, and Wesley's going to go on, and Wesley's probably going to play Clef or Decroft in the finals. Like, that's what's supposed to happen, right? That's how this is supposed to end. But Wesley, you see there, he's going to time out. I don't know what he's got going on his kicker ability, but he does not have the ability that counters the ice the kicker, so he is iced. And can't really see his meter. He actually does a good job here. He's going to get good power. But at the end of the day, he misses the kick. You see RonJ. He misses the kick. And now we're going to overtime where anything can happen. Just like that. Probably just a little too lackadaisical on the power. I don't know what happened. He's, going to the Cody Ballard kicking school. Lord knows I've missed my share of kicks, but that's a big missed kick. It's a big missed kick for somebody that's not even supposed to be an LCQ. I think he's had the longest active streak of Madden Bowl appearances. Never is an LCQ, and here he is. Right. So RonJ gonna get the ball. Wes gonna be on defense here. And honestly, Wes, it's favorable, right? You won the toss. That's what you want. If you're in overtime, you want to be on defense first. And RonJ throws a pick. The game's over again. RonJ throws a pick. The game is over again. It's literally over. The game's over. This is hard to watch. It's over. The game is over. He lurks him. He throws a bad read. He throws a pick. The ball's on the 39-yard line. He doesn't have to do anything. He can kick the ball. He doesn't have to do anything. The game's over. The game's completely over. Look at RonJ's face. He knows he lost. It's over. It's done. Like, he's lost this game at least twice. The game is over. But Wesley just missed a nice kick. And so for whatever reason, he calls a passing play. I don't know why. but he's coming out to dot up. And he's going to throw that. Look at RonJ on the left side. Look at what I mean. My gosh, like what? And man, Wesley is out of there. Frustrating loss. That's a very frustrating loss. I think he won the game at least 2 times. He dropped the intercept, didn't catch the interception when RonJ scored. But at the end of the day, there's really nobody to blame but yourself. Like, look at this. It's actually probably the right read, by the way. But RonJ just blitzes everybody, tries to get a sack, negative play. Wesley just tries to flip this out because he doesn't want to take it intentional. He probably doesn't even think it's going to be thrown. He's probably thinking it's going to be a throw out, a sack, and completion. For whatever reason, Caleb Williams overthrows the ball pretty significantly, which is unlucky. But also, RonJ's, oh my gosh, he picks it. He picks it to the crib. The game's over. One of the most heartbreaking losses I've ever seen in Madden history, especially when you could just kick the field goal, but you I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you do with that. I mean, it's a crazy, crazy loss. It's probably the worst loss in Wesley's career, I would think. And it's just a brutal loss, man. It's a brutal loss. RonJ moves on to the semifinal of the LCQ event, and Wesley's Madden 26 season is over.